What is up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself. And today is the return of Final Fantasy XI, a very underrated soundtrack that I adore. And we're hearing 3 songs today. 2 are from the base game, 1 is from Distant Worlds. I'm excited. This is going to be the songs Mhaura. And then we have the 2 songs as Ronfaure. I hope I'm saying that right. And the Distant Worlds one. That one is from the channel Reverend Rio. And then we have Nobuo Matsu for Ronfaure. And for the first one is Naoshi Mitsuda as the channel. Requested by Peppita and Charles. I'm excited. Get to hear both Mitsuda and Nobuo Matsu. That's exciting. Alright, well, let's just get into it. I'm excited. I like FF11 music. This is Mhaura. Oh, and the only note to the requester left was a smiley face. It immediately reminded me of Zita with the acoustic guitar. Oh man, I love songs like this. They're just so like, sounds like a chimney. Being home. Oh, those last 2 chords were not so home like. Oh, there's a little bit of expression on the acoustic guitar. Some trills. That's not just arpeggios. Interesting chord progression. It starts so wholesome and then it just goes ugly for a second. Chords now. Dun, 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 dun. It's a little staccato now. It sounds very European to me. I don't know how else to put that. It sounds like 5 different countries. Can any Europeans confirm? It's so nice, yet mysterious. There's a tone there. There's like something underneath. Nice, some slides. I wonder if those chords are even in the key. Wow, I got so much information out of just 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So again, I don't know anything what's going on here. The only note was a smiley face. Just tells me that they're a fan of the song. Or maybe there's a smiley face because they know I'm going to be confused by the song. But, okay. Well, I can actually say comfortably that that sounds like Final Fantasy XI. I've been doing this a while. And there's still games where, I'll say like, oh, it doesn't really sound like this game, or it kind of does sound like this game. I'm starting to as these videos go on and this channel grows, I'm going to get more familiar with stuff, right? That's just kind of common sense. You learn, you adapt to your surroundings. And that's why the longer it goes, the more and more and more I have to be about like going in blind and ignoring stuff. You know what I mean? I've always done that, but now it's going to be progressively like really avoiding stuff. But after all this time, 11 sounds like 11 to me. If I heard this, what I'm saying is if I heard this without knowing that it was Final Fantasy 11, I would have for sure guessed that it was Final Fantasy 11, you know? Before I would take, or most times I take like educated guesses or just completely random shot in the dark guesses. I wouldn't guess on this one. I feel like that sounds like Final Fantasy 11. It has hints of other games. Like, for example, excuse me. I feel like, this is just an assumption, but I feel like if you've never heard FF11, you might think that's like from The Legend of Zelda. Because there's a little bit of that in there. Kinda. But I think I speak for all 11 enjoyers that there's no mistaking it, you know? And that's really cool. I really like that. And not only that, but it sounds like 11 and Mizuda's work. I did not know who he was before. And I don't even know how many things they've been a part of. But everything I've heard from 11 that involves Naoshi Mizuda is really, really nice, you know? And I'm a big fan of it. And there's always like this kind of hint of mystery to it. There's just this, it's not so clear cut, you know? On surface level, this song sounds really wholesome and homely, you know? Like chimney, pie on the windowsill kind of thing. But then you get to the last part of the chord progression and it just goes into like this dark pit. And I was like, huh? What's going on there? So I couldn't tell you if this is I mean, I would have to assume it's like a field or running around roaming theme. I don't get battle themes from this, really. Apparently, according to some comments, I have heard a little bit of boss themes or fighting themes from 11, but I do not remember them at the top of my head. I think most of the stuff I've heard has been field themes, which is funny compared to 14, is most of the stuff I've heard there has been battle and boss themes. Isn't that funny how that works out? I just thought of that right now. Anyways, I don't know what this is. I'm going to guess it's just a walking around theme. But my first initial guess was just like a town theme, like you're just there. Cool. One thing I will say about this one is I really like the expressiveness that the guitar player used. It was not just simply arpeggiating chords. It wasn't just doom, 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 doom. There was a little doom, 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 and then slides. You know, it was very expressive. It felt a little more like, to me, it felt like, yeah, as someone who's done this before, maybe they weren't happy with a first take and like, you know, let me do it again. Let me spice it up a bit. So it felt more like an artiste. Anyways, the next one is the double. This is Nobuo Matsu. I can't really recall at this exact moment how many Nobuo Matsu songs I've heard from 11. I feel like I've heard a couple, very few. I think most of it has been Mizuda and Kumi Tanioka. I don't know how many Nobuo I've heard, so I'm going to be looking out for two things. Is it going to sound like Final Fantasy 11? And is it going to sound like Nobuo Matsu, you know? It's going to be weird. But this has a lot of views, 200,000. But okay. This is Ronfaure. Two very vague names. That intro sounded like Maybe I'm a Lion. That actually does sound like Nobuo Matsu. That's crazy. Whoa. Alright, let's listen. Tambourine? It does. Wow. It does sound like 11, and it does sound like Nobuo Matsu. That's weird. That's weird. It's got that patented like melody hook that he does so well. Something you can hum back to yourself and whistle back to yourself years later. You can hear a big difference in the quality of the guitar sound. This one sounds straight up MIDI. The other one sounded like a real one. Oh, that's cool. Wow, you never hear melodies like that. Sounds kind of festive, doesn't it? I know it's Christmas right now, but it sounds like it could be like kind of a Christmas theme. Da, 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 oh. Floor toms? Whoa. Now I can't help but think of like a winter-ish kind of place. The percussion is so bizarre. Whoa. We went Italian for a second there. Tremolo picking. And it's gone already. Tremolo picking is just up and down very quickly. You know what this sounds like? It sounds like a Renaissance festival. Or fair, Renaissance fair. Just a gathering of people. It's still changing though. There's a lot of melodies in this song. There's been like 4. Ooh, I just thought of something. It'll be the first thing I talk about when the song finishes. This is so cool. Yeah, it's like coming together in my head. What's happening here? At least what I think is happening here. There's a lot happening in the song. Ooh, that's catchy, man. Oh, we get to hear it again. I forgot about that. Oh, that means the second one is going to be a lot less percussion, I think. Distant Worlds. I noticed one thing about Distant World stuff. Not a lot of percussion. It's all about the orchestra stuff. Like, I doubt we're going to hear this. We'll see, though. You know, normally I wouldn't talk too much in between 2 songs that are identical the same. But I'm going to take, like, maybe a minute or 2 to explain what I just kind of went through really quick. That was really, really cool. Because I don't know if it's just, you know, the seeing myself grasp these things in real time. Like I said, 3 years ago, I would never be like, oh, that sounds like 11, or that sounds like Nobuo. And in one video, I did both. I was like, that sounds like both of those things. And technically, it sounded like Mizuta in the first one too. I just didn't say anything, or maybe I did. I don't remember. But that's cool, you know. It's very like, ooh, like, okay, I'm catching on. And that's hard to do when I have like, you know, so many things going on. I have my life, I have just things, right? Stream, not only like the songs I heard before this video, the songs I'm going to hear after this video. It's all about in the moment at that time. Each video is like its own little time capsule. You know, after this, I'm going to hear something else. I don't even know what's next. I don't even know what's next. Oh, Fire Emblem, right? And then I have to get into the Fire Emblem headspace. You know what I mean? There's a lot to... There's a lot of, like, constant motion in my brain. It's never worked so hard in its life. And then the other thing I was going to say is, before I move on to the next one, is that was a really busy song compared to the first one where I just looped a couple times. This one felt like it kept evolving and changing. And I think, this is just an assumption, that I think that had to do with quite literally just Nobuo having freedom from the whole soundtrack. You know, dude worked on 1 through 10, give or take. And this was I think he was more involved in 10, but it wasn't just him. Whereas 11, I think this is the first time where he definitely took a back seat. And I think that was probably like a really great thing because his brain can breathe. And, you know, I don't know how many songs he did for 11, but I feel like if I had to guess, each song that was made by him in 11 is probably very expressive and very, like, you know, he had time to rest and stuff. So you can really hear the movements. You can hear, like, the prog movements in this, even though it wasn't prog rock or anything. It just kept shifting around. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyways, Distant World's version. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I feel about Distant World's music. I know it might seem kind of controversial, but I'll explain why really quick. It's just, at the end of the day, and I'm not going to judge it before I even hear it, and it's not every song either, just sometimes it's come up. It just doesn't hit as hard. Obviously the originals are always going to be like, you know, the preferred way. But as someone who's been to Distant Worlds, it kind of left me wanting more. And there's just a lack of oomph in them. I know that's not the point, is the oomph. It's not a rock concert. They're very beautiful, and they're really, really, really great, and they're fun because they have the footage in the background. Arnie Roth does a great job. It's nothing like that. It's just, I don't know. It's 50-50 for me if it's going to translate well. I think this will. I just think we're going to be missing a lot of the cool, like, floor tom stuff, but we'll see. I don't want to judge it. You're Not Alone was really cool from Distant Worlds. Anyways, I just had to throw that out there. I shall not judge. This is Distant Worlds 2, Ronfaure. The melody is strong, so I think it'll translate well. We'll see though. It's a really catchy melody, man. But it's like in line with the older FFs, you know, it's got that swing to it. Wow, you can really tell how live it sounds. I feel like I could hear like feet shuffling and stuff. Definitely a live performance. Not that it's never not, but like, no doubt. Well, I totally forgot to mention something. That's the thing with Nobumatsu, like his melodies are so potent that they really sound good on like woodwind, brass, anything. I like how multiple instruments play to the melody. I feel like I heard it from like 6 different instruments. That's cool. That's how strong it is. It kind of reminds me, and I don't know why, it kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy IX. I'm asking, anyone know why? Is there a melody that sounds like that? I don't know. Oh, you know what it is? I envision the world. Floating castles and, the very fantasy world. Maybe that's what it is. The aesthetic of 9. So many instruments played that same part. That was good. That was awesome. One thing I was going to mention that I forgot to is during the first one, I completely forgot to even think about where that would be playing. I always try to guess, like maybe it's a location, blah, 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 what's going on. It just skipped my mind. I was so focused on the Nobuo melody and the 11 sound that I just, and then the second one, I was like, oh yeah, because I was thinking, where does this play? I don't know what Mhaura and Ronfaure are, but if I had to take a guess, they sound like fictional cities. And the energy was low enough that it doesn't sound like any sort of conflict. So I think a safe assumption for both is that these are just two town themes. I don't know if they're related town themes or even close to each other. They could just be requests that were put together. I don't know. The second one, or I should say the Distant Worlds version, it made me think of a couple things, right? When you go to Distant Worlds, they obviously have a set list that they use for the whole tour. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't change. Like, I think it's the whole set list for every stop on the tour, whether they're in Korea, whether they're in Texas, whether they're in wherever, I don't think it changes. Maybe it does, let me know. But I don't think it does. Anyways, but they always choose those, obviously, off of, like, very popular songs. One Winged Angel. You got the... what is it? There was one from the Train song, Phantom Train. Stuff that everybody knows. And I think, I could be wrong, I only went to one of them. I think they do one from each game? Or try to? I don't know, it's been a while since I've gone. Either way, so it made me think, oh, so why did they pick this one for 11? And I know it changes. There's multiple Distant Worlds, but I wonder why they chose this one at that time. That was like the main thing going through my mind. Is this like the song of 11? Is this the popular vote? Is this such a significant event? Or is the melody just so strong that I think it's a mixture of things, right? They're like, okay, what translates the best to a live orchestra? And then someone suggested, why not Ronfaure? And I could see that, So let me know how big of a deal this song is. And yeah, I don't know why it reminded me of 9. I don't think musically it did. I really think it was just like the fantasy world. Everything seemed so, well, I guess fantasy-like, for lack of a better term. I was trying to think of another word, but I couldn't. But yeah, it just reminded me of like Alexandria and stuff like that, just that whole sort of royal thing that was going on in 9. Even though 9 had a bunch of different sounds, but I always think of like the theater and all that showmanship and all that. Really cool. But yes, that did translate very, very well to the Distant Worlds version. I had fun. I think all of you should, if you're a fan of FF music, definitely take it upon yourself to, see live music in general. It's just a great thing to do. But video game music concerts are fantastic. I've seen Distant Worlds. I've seen the FF7 Rebirth concert, which was basically Distant Worlds, but all FF7 stuff. Same people, Arnie Roth. And then I saw the Nier Automata one. That was amazing. But it's always cool because they just, at least Square, they always put the footage in the background. So even if you don't know what's going on, you can see. And it's really cool. And I think what I said earlier about like them not hitting, take that with a grain of salt. I think that feeling I have comes from one song, and that was when I heard One Winged Angel. I think it was like my least favorite version of One Winged Angel. Because when I think One Winged Angel, I think bump, 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 dana, dana, dana. And at least the one I heard, it lacked all the power of the final boss. But I'm not here to critique. I'm just saying that was my experience. Anyways, really, really cool. I love hearing clarinets. I love hearing oboes. I love hearing French horns, trumpets, trombones, all that. They did do some percussion stuff here, so really cool. I like FF11. I am one of those FF11 music preachers, so the more the merrier. Thank you, Peppita, longtime FF11 requester, and thank you, Charles. Let me know what these two are. And yeah, happy holidays. I'm pretty sure Starlight Festival is going on right now, right? I only know that because of the research I did for the Christmas episode. So, thank you to all the patrons you see on screen. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse. Peace.